Oh, and welcome this morning. This is the morning that we're doing this live. You may not be watching it live at some point in time, but there's a lot, at least I have a lot to talk about. And I'm thinking maybe you have a lot to talk about because Saturdays we've made this uh, where you are a big part of the show. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. The Eagles played a football game, and we're going to, not that it, well, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into the football game. But first, I want to tell you, or I want to thank our presenting sponsor, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors and Jeff Stillwell. Hey, I don't care what, I've been thinking about this. Um, and I saw a research survey that said more people between, I think it was 25 and 39. And there's an audience out there. I mean, you don't have to be uh, older to be able to watch or listen to sports talk, but there's an audience out there that's a younger audience that has grown and it's really kind of choking radio for the time being. And you could be younger, you could be a little older, but that doesn't mean you can't have somebody take a look early at your wealth and get you prepared for the future. And Jeff Stillwell can and will do that. Good guy, sharp guy. I know that from talking to him. And if you want to get in touch with Jeff Stillwell, 732 343 0813. That's 732 343 0813. All right. Today, on this show, all right, the Eagles played a football game. They played their first preseason game. What does it mean? The show's you and me, and I'm asking you to be a part of the show. And I see there's already comments up there, but you can join on the stream. The link's out there. What do you think you learned from the first preseason game? And just get ready. And I kind of knew this was going to happen. I was 99% sure, and I think I put it out there, that Jalen Hurts wasn't going to play in the first game, and the starters weren't going to play in the first game. Guess what? Jalen Hurts will not play in the preseason. He will not play in the preseason. And so, if you wanted to see Jalen Hurts, or if you think it's important for him to play in the preseason, and I know when Nick Sirianni speaks, he's going to tell you, well, we get all that work in practice. And then before the second game, they have a joint practice. The quarterback still can't be tackled. He knows he's not going to be hit. And I don't know if that's a good thing. And I don't think it's a good thing, but coaches are so paranoid of injuries. For instance, well, injuries don't happen a lot of times in the games. The Chargers lost their left tackle in practice, not even in the game, in practice. So I'm not sure, and I want to hear what you have to think. If it's a good thing, it's not good for the fans that come out to the game. I mean, they enjoy a football game, but you're not seeing your starters. You're not seeing A.J. Brown. You're not seeing Devontae Smith. You're not seeing Saquon Barkley. You don't watch the offensive line when you watch a football game, when you go out to the game, but you're not seeing Jalen Hurts. You're not seeing the two corners. You're not seeing how the linebackers play. I get all that. But again, I don't know if it's a good thing. We know what Tanner McKee did. And I had said this last year when I saw him in practice on the snaps he took in practice. He is better. I'm not saying he's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but he's better at making reads. He's better at making reads and making decisions when he looks out there. He's probably a little more. He's probably a little more accurate than Jalen Hurts. Not probably. I think he is a little more uh, accurate than Jalen Hurts. So we'll talk about that. Talk about the Phillies lineup, which I still don't like. more Embiid info. But first, I want to tell you about the fine people that are partnering with this program. And first off, I want to tell you about Audi Westchester, because Audi Westchester, and so far for the last month, they've had deals. Now the deal is with the electric cars. You can lease a new 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron for $499 a month, or an Audi Q4 e-tron for $399 a month. Those are really good. Those are really good numbers. You'll need $5,295 down for the Q6 and $4,156 down for the Q4, plus taxes and registration fees. Stop by Audi Westchester for more details. And as I do when I do the show on Saturday, and we're doing this live, it's on Saturday, a lot of times I'll stop by there and say hello to the customers that stop by Audi Westchester, located at 1421 Wilmington Pike. Special offer won't last long, and there's a tax credit on electric cars, and that's not going to last long either. The new 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron, $499 a month, and the Q4 e-tron, $399 a month. AudiWestchester.com, that's where you can check it out. Also, one of the loyal and fine sponsors, another one of the loyal and fine partners of this program, Piazza Property Pros. If you waited, and I keep on telling this, you waited, yeah, I'm going to get a pool, an in-ground pool built in my property. Well, I don't know that you can get it ready for the summer if you called them right now, because obviously it takes time, but you will be ready for next summer. A new in-ground pool, renovation, Piazza Property Pros can do all that stuff. Over 25 years of experience. They specialize in turning your vision into a reality with great craftsmanship, unmatched customer service. 25 years, and they don't subcontract. It's done by their own people. Excavation, hardscaping, fencing, landscaping, pool maintenance. You can trust Piazza Property Pros. And give them a call, and they'll work within your budget. 610 566 2608. 610 566 2608. Check them out on the internet, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. We will give away today, we will give away a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. I'm going to ask a question towards the end of the show. You just enter, go to my website, howardeskin.com, and your answer has to be in by Tuesday at midnight, August 12th, and I'll announce the winner on my next show, August 13th at 7:30. We're live on X, Twitter, whatever you still call it, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and subscribe to YouTube. And when you do subscribe to YouTube, you're notified when the show is done live, and the winners will be randomly chosen from all of the correct entries. All right, let's get into the Eagles game. All right, so the Eagles played a football game and they won. Does it make any difference that they won? Really? Does it make any difference that they won? No. Does it make any difference how they played? Well, for the backup players, it makes a difference. And before we continue and get into the Eagles, let me just thank Doug Peterson again. He was so good, and it's so much fun to talk to a guy, talk to a guest, not a guy, but a guest, because we have some women, talk to a guest who's really honest and outgoing, and he gave you some background. And if you haven't listened to the show with Doug Peterson, I suggest you listen. Some background on the Philly special play and some other things. Obviously, he talked about Carson Wentz, what happened to him. There's a lot of different things that he talked about, and I suggest you listen, but thanks to Doug Peterson. All right, the Eagles. I want to hear what you thought. And again, the link's there. And you don't have to use the camera if you don't want to. If you just want to talk to me without being on camera, there's a little thing at the bottom. It looks like a camera. You should be able to see that. You can exit out, or you need the microphone, but you don't need the camera. So we did know, and I knew this was going to be the case, but that Tanner McKee is a good backup quarterback. He was better than Kenny Pickett. Uh, and they got rid of Kenny Pickett. They got him. They got rid of him. When you don't want him, there's always somebody out there that wants to take a quarterback. And Cleveland did that. I don't even know if he's going to make Cleveland's team. Uh, uh, I don't even know if he's going to make the Cleveland Browns. And I wouldn't get excited with Shador Sanders' first game either. Again, who is playing on the other team? Now, the Bengals played their starters on offense. I imagine they played their starters on defense, but they must be really, really, really bad. Uh, I can't believe they had a winning record last year. They actually had a winning record. Is that crazy? They had a winning record. They're not a good team. They got a great quarterback. Uh, they got a great quarterback, but they're not a good football team. So what did that game what did that game uh, mean? I don't have any clue. The coaches will look at it. To look at the backup players. The defense wasn't very good. So, but what did it mean? And I see there's people, and I see in the comments. Somebody's already into the Sixers. JC Sports. Paul George and Embiid should file for Social Security disability and retire. Well, they can't get this. They can't get Social Security. They don't have to worry about disability because their contracts are guaranteed. So I'll mention that as well. But I see Rob. How aside from running, what exactly does Hertz do better than McKee? McKee can operate the schemes from under the center and make every throw. Actually, that's a good point, Rob. You make a good point because he obviously is more comfortable under center. He's not the starting quarterback because in today's game, you need the mobility from the quarterback. But again, Tanner McKee eluded the pass rush when he needed to. But again, what uh, what does it all mean? Uh, it's just Danny says in the preseason, you look at individual players. I don't pay attention to the final score. Well, nobody pays attention to the final score except the kids that come out there. Um, it's early in the morning. Victoria, it says good morning. Good morning, Victoria. There's other people that wish me good morning, and I may have acknowledged them. Uh, it's just uh, it, there's Ringo. I see. What's it? Rohit, is that the name? Rohit Verna. Ringo and Jackson both look bad. They didn't look good. I will say that. They didn't look good. But again, I'm not sure. Well, in the question I asked earlier, if you're a fan and you have no say in who starts and who doesn't, are you not happy? Are you not happy that you won't see the starters? It's obvious now because and I can already tell you what Nick Sirianni's going to say. Um, he'll be asked, "Are you going to play the starters in the second game?" And he'll say, "We'll see about that." That's that's the first thing he'll say. Well, we'll see. No, he's not going to play the starters. And then after he doesn't play the starters, and I don't know if he won't tell you if he will tell you that he's not going to play the starters. Uh, he'll say afterwards, for sure. Well, we got enough work in the joint practice that we didn't need to play the starters. So it's just and I don't know that I don't know that that's good enough. I don't know that that's good enough. Um, Billy Bob Joe. The outcome of the preseason game isn't important. They ended one. they ended one before the time ran out when the Lions player got seriously injured. Uh, well, I see says they let the Raiders game end in a tie. There are no overtimes in the preseason game, and the Raiders missed a field goal. They got a field goal blocked at the end of the game, so that's why there's no reason. There's no reason to there's no reason to play overtime. I see. Who is it? Buster. Good morning and good morning to you as well. Uh, do you think Darius Cooper makes the team? Too early to tell. Uh, you know, they got some more depth in certain areas. Uh, and Jason says the starter should not play in a meaningless game. Well, yeah, but in practice, the quarterback knows he can't get hit. The pass rush is there, and you may stop the play in a sack, but the mentality is a little bit different if you know you can't get tackled. And that's the problem. Is tackling good enough when you do not have a good well, practice? It's a good practice, but you still don't tackle. So, do we are we gonna chance this again with Tony, Joe? Uh, is Tony there? Wow, this is a shock. Tony actually has video and audio. All right, Tony. Even centered up the camera a little bit better. What's happening?
Yeah, so I think Tanner, is it McGee or McKee? Uh,
It's spelled McKee. All right.
okay, I know he's Irish.
All right.
So
Just
anyway, that's a plus. Um, yeah, he has the right attitude. He's not, he can count him in a heartbeat as far as getting in the game. If Jalen goes down, he has a good arm and the right attitude to, if he has to be called on, he's there for you. Um, as far as them not playing, I think that's wrong. I think they should,
I think they got to play a little bit.
yeah, I mean, because you don't want to be stiff, you know,
Uh,
that's how they get injured.
well, no, they're not stiff when they play a game, but tackling over the last few years because practices aren't the same. A lot of teams don't play starters. Some teams do, as Cincinnati played their starters, but it's just they're so paranoid about injuries, and injuries happen in practice. Uh, uh, Injuries happen in practice. It's just so I'm not sure. You got to play them a little bit just to get a feel of the game.
Right,
Practice is not the game. That's my
right.
opinion, but I'm not the coach, so it
Maybe if
doesn't
they,
matter.
I guess they listen more of Allen Iverson's theory.
Well, yeah, yeah, but it's not the players determining that; it's the coach determining that.
Yeah,
Practice,
I
we
know.
talk in practice, so it's just. So, what did you learn from the game, Tony? What did you learn?
Well, like I said, as far as being them in it, involved in it, that McKee's studying,
Well,
he's
I mean,
studying.
yeah, but the backup quarterback gets more snaps in practice. It's just the feel of the game. But what did you learn? You learned that Tanner McKee can play in a preseason game.
Right,
That's what you learned.
right.
And first of all, I knew he's a good backup, and someday he might be a starter. I think
Oh yeah.
someday he may be a starter in the NFL because the NFL
Well,
doesn't have enough good quarterbacks.
you remember when he he gave that winning touchdown to AJ Brown, and that was his first touchdown pass of an Eagle quarterback, and he throws it into the stands. Any other quarterback would have been heartbroken. You just, oh well.
Well, okay. So you didn't learn anything from the game, is what you, other than Taylor McKay or Tanner McKay.
No, no.
Okay. Uh, so, all right. Well, all right, Tony. You have a great, great weekend and a great day.
All right.
Thanks for jumping in. I see Jeffrey Corrado. I couldn't find the show until just now, and that was a little while ago. Jeffrey, let me tell you, to make it easy for you and to make it easy for everybody else. First of all, we come up live on Twitter, and unless there's some kind of internet issue or whatever, you'll be able to find it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Live. But YouTube, when you subscribe to YouTube, it will notify you when the show comes on. And then you just click on, and there you are. So hopefully that solves your problem. I see Edward Zarnecki. Any concerns with Jake Elliott? Still had a problem hitting 50 plus. Didn't he make one from 50 plus? He missed one, and then there was a penalty, so it doesn't count in the stats. He did miss one. And he didn't have. He was okay in the playoffs, but he didn't have a good end of the year. That might be something to watch for. Is the Jake Elliott? I see Patty H. First time tuning in, just found it. Patty, I'm here. Wednesdays at 7:30 live, and Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock live, and that's Eastern time for the people that are watching. And there are people watching in different parts of the country. I know that. So Jake Elliott is an interesting. That is Inchling. That is. It's just. Hey, Tony, Billy Bob Joe probably wants you to manicure your beard. But hey, listen, if that's what you want to do, it's up to you. It's your call. I think we have somebody else on the line. Is that right, Joe? Okay, go ahead. Tool Man Tim, is that who this is?
Yo, King, what's happening?
You tell me.
Hey, brother, that was a pretty good game the other night, huh?
Pretty good for what reason?
We won, and
One winning doesn't mean anything.
I know, I get that, but it's good to see the team playing together, even though they're all substitutes. None of the first string really started, right?
No,
What
no.
what'd you think about Campbell, Jahad Campbell?
I don't know. He's okay. I mean, he's athletic, but I don't know that you can tell enough in the first game. And the coaches are the ones that are telling. Did he do the right things? Actually, one of the starters played, and he's going to be a starter. Is Tyler Steen on the offensive line? He played, and again, I don't know if all the Cincinnati defensive starters played. It's just. For Cincinnati. I don't know, but what did you get from the game? What did you get from the game?
Well, it seems like for me, it's the coaching. I think we have good coaches, and I think they coach the players well.
Players make plays, and
Yeah.
Tanner McKee made some really good throws, but there were some receivers that were wide open. But
Yeah.
it wasn't, and in some cases, it wasn't his first read. So if you look at it that way, I thought last year when I saw him in practice, and by the way, you're welcome, Patty. I acknowledge Patty that she tuned in for the first time. At practice, I saw that he went through his progressions, I think, better than Jalen Hurts does. Still does.
Yeah.
But again, he's not as athletic, so he won't. You're not going to have the RPOs, which is again part of their offense. Not a lot of times, so you won't have that. He's probably a little more accurate. That's okay too. But for what the Eagles do, Jalen Hurts is more athletic and can do more things for the Eagles. So yeah. There's going to be a point. There's going to be a point after a bad game and this is what's going to happen. Regular season game, you know what's going to
It's
happen.
Philadelphia, brother.
I know. This it's always the backup quarterback is always better than the starter. Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing when you
Yeah.
think about it? Isn't that amazing? It's
That
truly
is.
amazing.
Now, how about them Cowboys? What do you think is going to happen there, King?
Who?
How about them Cowboys? What do you think is going to happen there?
They're going to, well, I think, by the way, and I'll mention this, one of my picks, I make picks on my website too. And actually, Joe, if you have the graphic while Tim's on, if you have the graphic, put it up there. I'm going to make go to howardeskin.com. And for the preseason, no donation required, but the donations are for Brandywine Valley SPCA and Providence Animal Center. But just to let you know, the picks will be up there later. But the reality is, and here's what I think tonight, and this is one of my picks. I think the Cowboys win tonight. But again, new coach, Jerry Jones is trying to impress people. I don't know if Dak Prescott's going to play. I would imagine he'd want to play. But
that organization's a mess, man.
but I think the Cowboys are going to. It's one of my picks. I think the Cowboys are going to win tonight against the Rams. You know, Sean McVay doesn't care about winning. There's a lot of coaches. They care about winning. They care about playing well. They care about playing well, but I don't know if the win is really not as important. So
yeah, I get it. I get it. All right, one more, and I'll let you go, King. What's going to happen with the Phillies? We going all the way, or
I'm going to talk about that. No, they're not going all the way. To answer your question, they're not. They're going to break your heart again. I don't like the lineup, and I'll explain what I don't like about the lineup, and I'm going to do that during the show today too. Obviously, they have good pitching, but unless they hit home runs, they're not going to score enough runs. Friday night in the first game against Texas, they hit 3 home runs, one meaningless home run in the 9th inning when they're up. What were they up 7-1?
Yeah.
And Trey Turner had his first home run in 32 games. Congratulations, Trey. That was a bad signing, by the way. Nice guy, nice player, but not for $300 million. And now that screws him up. Maybe screws him up in the ability to sign Schwarber. But we're going to get that. Schwarber's going to get 35 to 40 million a year, probably for at least 4 years. And then the Phillies would have, think about the big contracts. Harper, who's got 6 years left. Trey Turner, who's got probably at least the same thing left. Zach Wheeler, right? And then there's going to be other players that they're going to have to sign too. And then people say, well, trade Castellanos. And it won't make any difference. He's making 20 million. It's just that is I don't like the lineup, and I'm going to get into it a little bit further.
Yeah,
but
they're overloaded.
Toolman Tim, thanks.
Appreciate you, King.
Else? All right, thanks. Take care.
Okay, brother. Take care.
All right. I see somebody else on the comments here, and I'm going to mention him by name. Tim Furlong. Tim is a friend, and I know him well. And he's joined the program. Tim works at Channel 10 in Philadelphia, NBC 10, as they like to call it. Great show, Howard. And while the win didn't matter the other night, winning and culture are established in July and August for the young guys. Yeah, I would say of the guys that played, half of them won't make the team, Tim. And so I'm glad they're going to have culture, but they'll do it as they're watching the game on TV. But I'm just busting. I'm busting on you, Tim. Yeah, it's culture. Okay, here's a culture. Landon Dickerson, who is a terrific player and a really good guy and a really sharp, intelligent guy, is eating what do you call it? Crustables or whatever the hell they're called, Crustables, which, by the way, are high in calorie with the peanut butter and the jelly. He's eating Crustables on the sideline. Now, that's the culture I want, Tim. I want guys who aren't playing, who aren't dressed, snacking on the sidelines. Now, that's a good thing. I'm busting your balls, Tim. But that's all right. It's all right. It's just all right. So let me get in since Tim brought it up. And Danny says the Phillies are going to break a lot of hearts. And they are. Here's what I don't like about the lineup. And you can still talk about the Eagles if you choose to do so. Here's what I don't like. You look at the lineup, and Bryce Harper is just hitting like just a little over 260, which is not good enough. That is absolutely 100% not good enough. Now, so here's the issue. What do you do with your lineup? What do you do with your lineup? And the Phillies lineup with Bryce Harper hitting third is not good. Bryce Harper, the way he's playing now, is not a number 3 hitter. And you can give me all this nonsense about analytics and all that other stuff. All right, so Bryce Harper last night had 2 strikeouts and no walks. Is that good? Oh yeah, because you got to walk. He's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. But here's the problem. Bryce Harper makes up the lineup, and he will not be happy. And you can't hit him 2. I know he's hit 2 sometimes. You can't hit him 2 because the 2 hitters got to get on base. I think Tim responded, good points. Yeah, I always make good points, Tim. But you you need that 3 hitter with a little, and it's the former way that baseball was the former way that ways that baseball was played. The 3 hitter needs to drive in runs. He's not doing a lot of that right now. Needs to hit home runs. And at one time, he was a home run hitter, not a 40 home run hitter, not a 40 home run guy. But you got to find. That's why I don't like the lineup. I just don't like. I just don't like the lineup. Turner, I'd rather have Stott number 1, but okay. You want to have Turner number 1. That's great. Turner had 5 RBIs. 2 of them in the last inning were meaningless. 2 hits. He had a home run, and he had a double to get some RBIs. But Schwarber hit number 2. He had 1 home run, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk. But Schwarber's the best player on the team. I'm okay with Schwarber. You could put Schwarber at 3. See, if you went Stott, Turner, Schwarber, then you got lefty, because they're worried about that nonsense, lefty, righty, lefty. You would have Schwarber hitting 3 behind a right-hander. Then I would probably hit Harper 5. I'd probably put Castellanos at 4, although he's not a home runner, but the 4 hitter is not a home run hitter anymore anyway. Realmuto had 2 hits last night, and unbelievably, he's hitting 270. But you could put JT Realmuto or Castellanos at 4. But then the rest of your lineup, it kind of sucks. And I would put Harper at 5. Harper won't be happy with that because he's already pushing for the Hall of Fame. He's already pushing for the Hall of Fame. And right now, he's not a Hall of Famer. But that's right now. But he's got 6 years. Tony, you can't say that. Tony says Bryce Harper is good enough for the Iron Pigs. You can't say that. And I see Billy Bob Joe. They should have traded for Trout. Trout didn't want to come to Philadelphia. And the reason is, and I understand that, he likes the style of living out there in California. He likes the winter, on the East Coast more than the summer because he loves snow. And it's just when you play in your hometown, it's basically his hometown. You have all these people that want to come out. I want tickets. I want this. I want that. And you get bothered by your friends and family. And his family, and I've met them. Seems like a really good family. But it's the friends that really kind of it just he just doesn't want to come home, and I understand that. And I don't know, somebody else, a couple of people have brought up Justin Crawford. And is he coming up in September when the season is over in the minor leagues? They'll bring him up. And they might get an at bat at 2 because they're going to need to win those games in September. But other than that, there's something that I sense is not right for the major leagues with Justin Crawford. He's gotten a lot of pub, but there's just something. The pitching in the minor leagues is brutal, absolutely brutal. So if he's hitting in the minor leagues, does it mean anything? I see somebody else, Greg Losey, I guess is how you pronounce it. Crawford, Turner, Harper, Schwarber. I don't want Harper 3. I just don't want Harper 3. I don't want Harper 3. If you're going to have a better lineup, if your lineup's going to be better, you can't have Harper hit 3. I'm telling you, I think I just have a feeling. I have a feeling the Phillies are going to break your hearts again. And I saw a comment, and I forget when. I guess it was after the Detroit series. They won 2 out of 3, and you didn't even mention the Phillies because nobody cared. Nobody cared. They won 2 out of 3 against Detroit. Nobody cared. Detroit has a good record, but they were struggling when they came into play in Philadelphia. Nobody cares. At that point, nobody cared. Now, there's a lot of fans out there that care about the Phillies, but they're worried. They're scared. For instance, with the Eagles, there's always the expectation that the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl. And there's that expectation this year. That puts a lot of expectations on people, a lot of expectations. So, all right, there's another thing I wanted to talk about. I want to do that now. And I guess you'd have to know if people probably needed to go to the game. The concessions at the Eagles game at Lincoln Financial Field for the Eagles are a disgrace. Outrageous. The prices of concessions. How many people went to the game and you looked and you saw, and this is nothing against Chickies and Pete's and Pete Cherokee, because he doesn't set the prices at the stadium. It's not his fault. Do you know, and you get the 2 cups of cheese, $25 for crab fries, but you get the 2 cheeses for $25. Now, if you go a half a mile down the street, it's $9 in Chickies and Pete's on Packer Avenue. It's $9. $25. Let me break down the prices of Chickies and Pete's, and it depends on the location. Crab fries at Packer Avenue, $9. The airport, I think it's a little over $10. Citizens Bank Park, $15, which is still too much. And at the Link for Eagles games, $25.50. You're kidding me, right? Aramark is a greedy, and I can't say greedy enough. Aramark is so bleeping greedy, it's disgusting. I mean, don't you make enough money? Don't you make enough money that you just got to rip the fans off? And that's what they're doing. With the prices of concessions, I don't even know what the hot dogs are. They probably about $7 to $9 for a stinking hot dog. Let me just make a comparison. In Atlanta for the Falcons games, and the owner set the prices here. Hot dogs and sodas are $2. 32-ounce soda at the Link was probably at least $10, and half of it's ice. $2 in Atlanta for soda and hot dogs. And in Atlanta, free refills on the soda. Free refills on the soda. Scott says the city of Philadelphia takes 45%. They don't take 45% on concessions. They don't take 45% on concessions. It's just, I don't believe that. They don't take 45%. The city of Philadelphia, give me a break. Give me a break. It's the greed of Aramark. And I'm going to share something with you. And I don't know if I've said it before. It was at least 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And congratulations to the Eagles and Phillies for putting a stop to this. Congratulations to the Eagles and Phillies. When you were in suites, and people that are in suites, on your bill, like it is on every restaurant bill, it shows the automatic tip. The automatic tip in the suites. I don't know that it's not an automatic tip at most restaurants, but the automatic tip was 18% at that time. Do you know? And the wait staff depends on that money because that part-time job is important for them. Do you know Aramark took, I believe it was 15 of the 18%, but well over, I'll say well over to be correct, well over 10% of the tips they took, and they kept them. And the people in the suites are thinking, well, that money goes to the wait staff, so I don't have to give them some cash, or some people do want to give them some cash. Anybody that went to the game, I'd like to hear from you. It just, it's sad. Somebody said chasing a 10-pound bag of potatoes costs $5 at the grocery store. It's not what the potatoes cost, it's the greed of Aramark. They're a root, and their executives got major bonuses when they were taking most of the tip money from the wait staff. All right, let me get into beers. $18 beers. Do you know in Atlanta, the average around the country, forget about Atlanta, the average around the country is $12 to $15. And at the link, it's $18. It's just, but think about that. A family of four, I know ticket prices get higher and higher. Family of four, you can't get by without, between parking and parking, a reality, parking and concessions. Let's say a family of four, you might as well share one order of crab fries. Family of four, well over $100, plus the tickets. I don't know how many. I feel bad for the kids of the families. Families, you might be able to maybe one game, but they can't afford it anymore. Somebody's got to call out Aramark. Somebody's got to call out Aramark. I'm not going to suggest not buying any concessions one game because that's impossible. But it's all part of it. I know that the teams share in some of the revenue, but the teams don't set the prices. They do not set the prices. Aramark sets the prices. But it's really, 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 really outrageous what they're doing. I know the Phillies, some people have already gotten their bills for season tickets next year. For the lower level infields, they went from, in most cases, from 2 years ago for next year, from $68 2 years ago for lower level infields to $96 next year. Baseball was an affordable sport, and I feel bad. I feel bad for those people. It was an affordable sport. So you're going to pay Trey Turner $300 million. You're going to pay Bryce Harper $330 million. You're going to pay Zach Wheeler, who is worth it. Zach Wheeler's worth in today's prices over $40 million. And the fans end up getting screwed. I see Patty says outrageous pricing. We don't take our kids to Eagles games anymore between the inflated ticket prices for resale, good seats, parking, and concessions. The teams can't help the resale, but now the teams are trying to make it with what the resale is. And then I see WP says, it's not impossible to not buy concessions. It's really tough. You're there for a game. He wants something to drink and something to eat. Here, I'm going to give you another. The water is either $7.50 or $8 a bottle of water. What is a 20-ounce bottle of water? That bottle of water probably cost Aramark no more than 50 cents because they buy over a season. They buy probably at least 1 million bottles of water for all the events in the city, at all the places. Uh, uh, it's just I see Herb. If people don't buy things from Aramark, they will have to start lowering the prices. They're greedy. The problem is people will still buy food and drinks. Yeah, you almost have to during a game. But think about that. The bottle of water, $7.50 to $8 for a bottle of water, bottle of water, and uh, they probably pay no more than 50 cents a bottle. If anybody, was outraged who went to the game and saw it in person, I'd be happy to hear from you. All right, let me just tell you about our winner. Our winner from the last show, when Doug Peterson was on, great show, of the Oakley sunglasses. We have a winner. We have a winner. Oh, is that right? I thought it was, you know what? I think it was the glasses, but I'll straighten that out. If it was the glasses and George Romali, uh, I got to check that. But I think it was the glasses. So, but either way, you'll get one of the two, and I'll make sure if you won the glasses, you get the Oakley sunglasses. But if it was a Chickies and Pete's, you'll get that. But I'll go back and check the last show, which we can do on social media. But George, congratulations. Either way, you are a winner because you. And the question was, I asked Doug Peterson, and this was the question. I asked Doug Peterson, what other play was important in that game other than Philly special? And he immediately went, and I remember the play exactly, 4th and 1. And he said, and I didn't remember, it was from their own 35-yard line. 4th and 1, and they were trailing at the time, the Patriots. 4th and 1 from their own 35. The pass to Zach Ertz, and they got 2 yards on the pass. Got a first down. That, he said, was the most important. And he said in that drive, the touchdown catch by Zach Ertz when he dove into the end zone. Great shot of Zach diving into the end zone. That was, so if somebody said either one, and I don't know if George said both, you were a winner on the last show. And I'll give you a question coming up shortly. And I want to just mention about Joel Embiid. I'll deal with. It's just it's so pathetic. All right. But first, before I do anything else, I again want to tell you how important it is and how much I appreciate that Jeff Stillwell with Stillwell Financial Advisors is our presenting sponsor of this fine show. And I see a lot of people have joined in on the comments, and I appreciate the comments. You can join in on the air too, and have some fun with people. And some people I see were joining for the first time, and that's a good thing. And but all these people that join still can probably use help with their financial situation, whether you're younger, whether you're older. And I mentioned it earlier that more and more younger people are listening to podcasts rather than radio. And Jeff Stillwell can help you out. Great guy, really knows his stuff. Give him a call, 732-343-0813. Also want to talk about our other partners. All right, let me just, before I get to that, let me just tell you, I would bet, and I'll give anybody 5-1 odds, Joel Embiid is not going to start the season in uniform. He may wear a uniform. He's not going to play in the game. It's not going to play in the game. He's not going to play a game. I see somebody brought up Taiwan Walker's $18 million a year contract. Horrible signing. Horrible signing. But Joel Embiid will not play, and there's more to that story. All right, let me talk about our other fine partners. And Audi Westchester is one of our fine partners. Great people. You'll have fun. Hey, you have fun looking for a new car. And right now, great. When I say great, I mean great deals on the new 2025 Audi Q6. The electric cars right now on sale. The Q6 e-tron, $499 a month, or an Audi Q4 e-tron. Q6 is $499 a month. The Q4 is $399 a month, and that's with $5,295 down on the Q6, and $4,156 down on the Q4, plus taxes and registration fees. Stop by Audi Westchester for more details. Grab a cup of coffee, have some snacks. I'm telling you, right? You're going to have fun. People are great. You're going to have fun. And you can check it all out and have fun at Audi Westchester. 1421 Wilmington Pike. This special offer will not last long. And the other thing that's going on right now, electric cars have a huge tax credit, but that's not going to go on much longer either. So here's the time to stop at Audi Westchester, 1421 Wilmington Pike, and the offer won't last long. 2025 Q6 e-tron, $499 a month, and the Q4 e-tron, $399 a month. Check it out. Check it all out. AudiWestchester.com. Piazza Property Pros. You want to build a pool on your property? Then darn it, make the decision. Pick up that phone and call Piazza Property Pros. These people know their stuff. 25 years of experience. 20 and I think they'll be around when I can say 26 years of experience. They specialize in turning whatever vision you have for your property into reality. They don't subcontract. They have top-notch craftsmanship, unmatched customer service. They can do excavation, hardscaping, fencing, landscaping, pool maintenance. You already have a pool, you need pool maintenance, they can take care of that. Piazza Property Pros. Give them a call, and they'll work within your budget. 610-566-2608, 610-566-2608 for a free consultation, piazzaoutdoor.com. And I've just been notified, and I have a mind like a steel trap most of the time. And who was it? George was the winner last week, and it was the Oakley sunglasses. He did win the Oakley sunglasses. I just went, George, you're getting the sunglasses. You're getting not that the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. If you when you send us your address to our to howardeskin.com with your address. If you want the Chickies and Pete's, I'll give you the Chickies and Pete's because we made the mistake. But if you want the sunglasses, you get the sunglasses because that was the prize on the last show, the Oakley sunglasses. So mine like a steel trap. All right. So Joel Embiid. Well, we know Paul George is a stiff. All right. We know he was a stiff. 4 years for a stiff. Daryl Morey is such a fraud. And the Sixers right now are out of sight, out of mind, but it's just brutal. Joel Embiid, there are multiple reports, and I don't always believe reports, but I've heard this. I've heard this from other people, which is important. That Joel Embiid not only won't start the season healthy. That injury is no joke. His knee. He probably should have had a more detailed surgery. I'm not. Hey JC, I'm not going to read your comment. It's not fair. Tim M. Sixers are the worst organization in all of sports. They are the worst organization in Philadelphia. Joel Embiid is the biggest lazy loser in all of Philadelphia sports history out of all our star players. Billy Bob Joe. He got his money, and that's another mistake by Daryl Morey, 4-year contract. And it's just Morey is incompetent, according to Pat. Yeah, he is incompetent. Well, he, it's he could win a pair of sunglasses, but I'm not going to. He's disqualified. Uh, uh, yeah, uh, um, I'm not even going to read this name. Another fake. I'll leave it at that. Good morning, Howard. Does Howard or anybody actually read the chat? I'm reading the chat now. I read the chat every show. And then after the show, I go on and I acknowledge that I've read the chat and I will acknowledge that. Uh, uh, it's just, but Joel Embiid, according to reports, not only is not going to be ready for the start of the season. Let me just finish that thought. Not only not going to be ready for the start of the season, that injury is going to, I'll go above surprised. I will be shocked, beyond shocked, if he plays 40 games this year, plays more than 40 games. Greg, you're right. Embiid is cooked, and Morey should be fired. Mike C, loving the show, Howard. It's your show. I was just hoping more people. I can see people are listening by the chat, but you're always welcome to chime in. Uh, uh, um, somebody else called him a clown. Yeah, I guess he is. He's not a clown. A clown you laugh at, but you're laughing and you're loving it. You're not loving what the Sixers are doing. Sixers need a reset, start over with Maxie McCain and Edgecomb and build a winner with players that actually try. That's what Philly fans want. Here's the problem. Nobody wants Paul George. Somebody will take Paul George. He's got 3 years left on a contract. Somebody will take Paul George, but then you're going to have to give up a number 1 pick. Somebody will take Embiid, but then you're going to have to give up more than a number 1 pick because he's not going to play. It's like, who wants those? Danny, you're right. He's not playing 40 games. So, all right. I appreciate everybody here this morning. And it is important. It is important that you be a part of the show. And even when I have a guest on, it really is important for you to be a part of the show. All right, here's my question. I did mention during the show where I think Bryce Harper should hit in the lineup. Where did I say that I think, me, it'll never happen, that I think Bryce Harper should hit in the lineup? You had to be listening. And if you answer that question correctly, you will, and we'll select a winner. We'll select a winner at random. You'll win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. Get your entry in by Tuesday night, August 12th at midnight. We'll announce the winner on the show on Wednesday, August 13th at 7:30, live on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And subscribe to YouTube. I urge you to do that because as soon as I go on live, you get notified by YouTube. But it's on all the platforms, and it's on not the video, but just the audio on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple. So you can see it there. Some other comments before we go. He ain't playing 40 games. I think I said that. That's Danny. Mike, he says, F the haters, Howard. The show is great. Thank you very much. If nobody wants Embiid or George, fine. benched him. You're going to put between the both of them, you're going to put $115 million on the bench. Love you on Saturday. That's Glenn. Thanks. Great show, King. That's Jeffrey. Tony's always there. Tony Woods. Thanks for the show, Howard. That's Todd Labor. Jeffrey Corrado says, I think he means, he says ninth. I think he means Bryce Harper should hit ninth. It's just, Greg, I'm not going to respond to you. But if people answer correctly, submit it to my website, howardeskin.com, the correct answer, and the winning answers will be chosen at random. Sixers problem from Scott. Sixers problem. Harris doesn't care. He is too focused on his NFL team. I agree with you. As long as he's making money, and he's making money with the Sixers, their season tickets went down. I'm going to answer Herb Purple, and I don't know if that's your name or you just put up Herb Purple. Howard, I think you do a great job with these podcasts. He said when. It should be where. With these podcasts. Do you think adding another show, another day during the week, maybe like on a Monday and on a Thursday, and keep your Saturday, you can talk, well, Mondays, thinking about another show, the thought, and there are some ideas I have for a show, and I might do a show with the tailgaters before Eagles home games. I might do a show like that. That's a thought that I have. That's a thought. I've talked to one person about that, joining his tailgate. So I've thought about that. I see, and then Chris wants me to go. Bonadano wants me to go to 2 hours. You know what? 1 hour is good. I go a little over 1 hour most of the time. And Tim Furlong just can't stop himself. Tim, I love you. Logical question with almost no breaks like radio. When do you hit a bathroom or a snack? Let me tell you something. I have such great discipline that I don't need a snack. And by the way, Tim, I'll just share this with you. I intermittent fast, and I don't start my first meal to approximately noon. And then I have an 8-hour window in which I can eat. So I don't eat in the morning at this time anyway. And the show, when it's live, is 8 o'clock. So hopefully that answers your question, Tim. And again, I thank you and everybody else for listening. Tim's a great guy. You know what? I can see there's a lot of people on here, and I may have met someone. I see Ray Fitzgerald. The NBA is unwatchable. They make too much money, and they just play street ball. It is horrible. Ray Fitzgerald, you are 100% correct. It is a horrible product. A horrible product. Al, the accordionist. Eskin has a bladder of steel. I don't know about that. No bathroom and snack. That's why that's what we have to do at the Eagles game. That's why you're going to pay ridiculous, outrageous, disgraceful prices. The greed of Aramore. So, Eagles are on the field. Even thinking about the Sixers is a waste of time nowadays. Boy, I'll tell you, some of the people say it better than I do. All right. So you have your question to win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. We got the winner straightened out. And because I announced on the show you won Chickies and Pete's, but really you won the sunglasses, the Oakley sunglasses. Don't forget it. They're Oakley sunglasses. When you send in your address, whichever one you want, I'll take care of you. Whichever one you want. And thank you. And everybody for joining. We'll be back on Wednesday night at 7:30. I don't know. We'll have a great guest. but I don't know. Doug Peterson was one of the best we've had, just with because the content of the Philly special and everything going on. And I put up on my social media platforms sound bites from that show, so you can hear some of the things. But watching the whole show again, there's nothing wrong with that as well. And also thanks to Joe, my producer Joe. Joe does a great job. You see all the graphics and all that stuff on the screen. Joe Joe does beyond a great job. So those are the kind of things that are invaluable. Joe Gangemi does a great job. All right. And you do a great job too by listening to the show. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for joining the show. We'll see you again on Wednesday. But again, subscribe to YouTube. And if you missed part of the show, you want to re-listen to it, it's up on the social media platforms and you can re-listen to it. Have a great weekend, a great day. Take care of yourself. And as always, you got to be safe. Don't do anything foolish. Don't do anything foolish, like beating your head against the wall after you pay those prices at Lincoln Financial Field for an Eagles game. The prices I'm meaning on the concessions has nothing to do with the Eagles. The Eagles do not have anything to do with setting those prices. That is strictly Aramark. Everybody have a great weekend. Take care. And thanks for joining the Howard Eskin Show.